3 days have passed since the NETVision crashed, and I haven't turned it on since. I've spent my time mostly just processing what happened. I've also put some hours into editing what I recorded. I debated whether or not I should just cancel the video, as not only was the second half a total mess, I also could not get myself to turn on the camera again. But after some rest, I've regained some confidence. After witnessing what I did, I obviously wanted an explanation, so after a fruitless search, I decided to ask about it on the subreddit, which was more active than the group, but still barren. I wrote a post where I essentially just asked what the hell was going on, and I also attached some pictures as evidence. A while passed without anything, as expected, but roughly an hour later it started catching some people's attention. Now, I got very similar responses, just 2 to be exact, but the first one I received was the most detailed one. It's the one I'll be discussing, so thanks to Bugcatch6 for the response. To summarize, for nearly over a decade, there's been quote-unquote strange activity on the servers, mainly in the NETVision network and the browser. You don't say. Apparently, it's only gotten worse with time, causing the people that remain to just leave. We witnessed this firsthand when we explored the groups. The absurd amount of spam accounts simply drowned out whoever was left. Well, not spam accounts, I don't even know what you'd call them. Bugcatch said that what happened to me has actually happened to several others over the years, that is, one of the accounts sending cryptic messages. However, he said that my case was unique because it was more personal. He said that, to his knowledge, nobody else had ever seemingly received a file from the accounts. That confirms that the thing that's messaging me is connected to all this, it wasn't just the site. I should mention that nobody knows exactly what's going on, or even if it's just one person behind it or a group. Their theories are the same as mine. But what Bugcatch did say is that the strange sites should be safe to enter, which I don't entirely believe. He also recommended that I stay away from social features and that I change my location, which I was already going to do. In terms of what's happened to the browser or the rest of the system, nobody really knows. There doesn't seem to be any logical explanation as to how or why it's seemingly preserved, besides mine. What worries me most isn't that, though, it's that there are multiple unexplainable things happening at once that have been going on for I don't know how long. It doesn't even matter. Okay, let's give this another go, shall we? This time around, we're just gonna ignore everything and look at the stuff that's left, which isn't a lot if I remember correctly. The startup is still very soothing. The first thing I'm doing straight away is changing my location. There we go. Anyways, I set it to my actual one, and that could be quite dangerous. I'll just change it to some random thing. Wait a second, Redmond, Washington? Since when was it Redmond, Washington? Is this some sort of bug? It's possible, but what's weird is that it isn't the default one. I'll stick to what I said, I'll just roll with it, but man, this stuff is just messing me up. Redmond, Washington. Why the hell was it Redmond, Washington? Isn't that the headquarters of... Did all the headlines change? They did, right? Whoa, that's expected, but I thought the data was frozen? If the headlines and weather can change, it might be displaying information from maybe, like, this exact day, but from some time in the past? Maybe 10, 20 years ago? I don't know. That puts everything in a new perspective. This is a complete oddity. I'm gonna give up trying to reason and just assume the servers are modified or something. Maybe preserved to maintain that old school feel. You know, web TV is desolate. You can't even get on the home screen anymore. But this is like a day hasn't even gone by since the shutdown. Everything is just there. As if that never happened. But, well, you know, it's not untouched. Last time we were working on our custom site, so I think we'll finish that first. However, I'm immediately deleting the files that caused the reset. Let's continue working on that site. It looks like it was saved, but the system crashed, so I'm not sure if it's up to date. That reminds me, we never checked out the little help menu over here. It might have some useful tips for making the website. Let's see. Oh, alright, it's not that extensive, but it might still come in handy. Controls, tools, design tips, publishing. I think design tips would work best for me since, honestly, I don't have a lot of ideas right now. Whoa, that's a big paragraph. Okay. So, you want to make a good design for your website, but don't know where to begin. Well, lucky for you, there's tons of easy-to-use templates ready to be applied to your site. Yada yada. What exactly is a site theme? But what do we mean by the site theme? Well, if it wasn't clear enough already, the site theme is basically the look of your website, from the background to the buttons, the font and color of your text, and here's some examples. Looking at this, I'm realizing I don't really need it that much, so let's just get to work, shall we? It's still good that they put these in here, it's just that I'm not in the mood to read all that, plus, I didn't get to the actual tips. Alright, let's start working. We're not gonna be able to add music for obvious reasons, so we'll have to find some other gimmick to put in it. Did it reset? It's the same from... I didn't just delete the site, I also got rid of the zip and the audio files. How did it know? That confirms that this is someone with some sort of administrator tool. But it also confirms that they are watching. Well, I don't know. God, I think I'm getting too worked up about this. I mean, that was complete gibberish. It's just nonsense. Like I said, it has to be some ex-employee playing a prank on the new guy. I mean, as you do when you see the first person to join your niche community in years. How any of this is doable is beyond me. But it probably is somehow, I just don't know. So, here's our fresh website. Let's get done with this as fast as possible. I decided to pick the same template as the previous one. I'm gonna go ahead and make these paragraphs here like they were in the original, just for consistency. Okay, there we go. Since we won't be able to add music, I'll just go straight to changing images, so let's delete this real quick. And place an image of my own. Let's do my logo. There we go. As you've probably picked up on already, this menu is very, easy to use, which apparently led to an explosion of custom sites back in the day. I'm gonna add another image. How about this one? We'll put it down here. I guess we could change the background color too. How exactly do we do that? I should have, paid more attention to the help section. Over here, I guess? Yeah, got it. Backdrop. Do you want your background to be a solid color or an image? Color. Ooh, let's change it to a nice dark blue. There. And as for the text, I guess we'll change it to be white. Let's look for it. There we go, looking good. Okay, now let's change these things down here, the links. I'm not sure what I'm gonna relink them to, maybe just my channel. Edit text, add a link, change font. These should just lead to subpages of the site by default. Maybe we'll edit those too. Huh, they don't. That's funny, maybe it's just this one. They link to some other site. Let's check that out real quick. Oh crap, never mind, we can't, we're in the editor. Guess I'll just type it on my PC then. That'll be more interesting anyways, just to see if it even loads. That link. Man, I'm being too paranoid. Like I said, it's probably just another page. It's a fresh template. I guess this thing is prone to bugs. Maybe the first site's links just carried over. This would have probably crashed my system if I haven't opened it there. So, look. I've been waiting for him to follow it up, but, well, he hasn't. I don't know how to respond to that. What do I even say? Oh, you bastard. I knew it. God damn it. I know I'm giving him exactly what he wants, but I have to. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not confident I know what's happening anymore. You know what I thought at the start, but now I don't know what... There's always a logical explanation. There always was, right? But what just happened? The things that have been happening, they aren't logical. It's not logical. And it's all intertwined. There is something going on here that I do not want to get involved in. I think I'll just cut my losses and move on to the last page after I catch a breather. I don't want to spend much longer recording. One more thing left to look at. It shouldn't take long. As I mentioned earlier, this should be the final page, so I'll just try to, relax and sort of take it easy. So this is today on NETVision, and it's pretty much exactly what you're thinking. It's the app where all the information and updates are collected, so they're easier to access. Up top, we've got official links. Here's their site, which, as we saw, is gone now. The NETVision blog, which we will take a look at. A tip section. Let's give that a quick look now. Looks, concise. Here's the categories for the tips. They have some tips of the day. And down here, we have Today In, which just has some widgets with headlines and current info. News, weather, money, and entertainment, stuff like that. It actually summarizes everything in a very concise format. And to the side, we have More, which, just takes you to the news page as expected. At the bottom, there's the Community Highlights section. It's quite self-explanatory, as you can see. Does community news work? It doesn't. It's incredible that they had a section like this, isn't it? This community used to be so active. Seeing what's left after all this time, it's sad in a way. This section has both a featured website and group. I'll get around to checking these out later, maybe just the website for now. Should I? I've been prolonging this. And for good reason, but I feel like I have the obligation to check because, well, I just have to make sure. Well, looks like everything's fine. But that is a reason to worry. These posts go back years. The latest one is from 2006. That's right when the company shut down. It's the announcement. I think I'll check this one first. It might provide some insight.
Hey everyone, Dan here. As you all know, the past couple months, and really just the past 2 years here at the office, have been extremely hectic. It hasn't been an easy week for any of us, and the mood has been, unsurprisingly, the bleakest it's ever been. If you read our previous post, you know precisely the words that will shortly follow. However, for those who are still uninformed, or simply didn't read the last one, I'll save you the trouble and just rip the band-aid off. The NETVision system will stop receiving support on July 1st, 2006. Units have already ceased all production, and this is merely the next natural step in our end-of-life journey. Further details will be announced in May, but to ease the pain a little, I'll reveal the basics now. All of your account information will be saved, and the NETVision network, along with most internet functions, will be kept partially operational. However, new content will no longer be able to be created by accounts who did not purchase a subscription before the sunset date, which in essence means that after sunset, no new accounts will be allowed to post, create groups, publish sites, etc. Ever since the day me, Eric, and the rest of the team were all laid off from our old job after the buyout, we haven't gone a single day without feeling overjoyed. This community has brought us some of the happiest moments of our lives, and I mean it when I say I wouldn't trade it for a world. The group wars, the events, the contests, all of them have been a pleasure to work on, and even when times got tough, I knew I always had you guys to cheer me up. Many of you will blame Peter for all this, but know that even in his unstable mindset, and perhaps even unhealthy obsession, if he hadn't pushed forward with the suit, we would have faced financial troubles one way or the other. Pete always had the best intentions at heart, and he wants nothing more than for this community to live on.
How far has this spread? How is this even here? What's the point? It might be the same one Dwarf Rabbit sent me. If it isn't, it's similar.
Hello NETVision community, Eric here. As some of you may know, for the past couple of years, NETVision programs has been facing numerous financial issues, which have not only had the administrative branches of the company, but they've also led to the systems development being halted as well. Just last year, our ongoing court battle finally came to a close, which is one of the primary reasons why we find ourselves in the position we are now, and we're not ashamed to admit that we are currently in an extremely vulnerable place. If it wasn't for our great supportive user base, we'd be in a much more regrettable situation. So, for that, thank you. Just last year, our ongoing court battle finally came to a close, which is one of the primary reasons why we find ourselves in the position we are now. We're not ashamed to admit that we are currently in an extremely vulnerable place. Just last year, our ongoing we are now, and we're not ashamed to admit.
Everything I see just adds to my confusion. Why would they willingly destroy this? Wouldn't they want them as they were? They want people to view whatever it is that's in those links, I know that, but why here? I think, were these posts always like this? When NETVision users read these posts on release, was this what they saw? Or did this happen later? This is the final thing left to look at. This should be fast, so we'll just take a look. After I check this out, I'm not going to move on to the group. Like I said, I do not want to interact with any social features. I already risked it. So, this was the featured custom site of that month. I have no idea if this actually changes or not. I'd imagine it does because of Linda's page. Hello and welcome to my page. Before you explore, I think I should tell you a little more about myself. My name is Linda D. I'm a Birmingham City University graduate. My passion in life is creating art. Here you'll find my work along with my other hobbies. Pretty good layout. Okay, let's take a look at her. Hold on, Bugcatch 6? Oh, thank God. Feels good seeing a familiar face for once. If you don't remember, he's the community member that helped me out before. Did he send us something? I wonder what he's messaging us for. Okay, we gotta focus on this. If I have the time, we'll open the message. But I want you to keep going. Now, let's see. About me. Says it was last updated in 2004. Hi, my name is Linda. I'm a professional graphic designer who specializes in creating user interface elements. I was born, raised, and studied in the UK. From a young age, I always aspired to work as a veterinarian. What? You thought I was going to say something else? Well, I suppose you can guess how that turned out, but if I had truly pursued that goal, I wouldn't have discovered my true calling in life. Before I began college, I realized how much potential I had in terms of creating art and decided to refine my craft instead of studying medicine. However, the stress of married life, my job, and now the terrifying prospect of being a mother have made feeling passionate about art difficult. That's why, after nearly a decade, I took up art as a hobby again. View this site as my little personal corner where I can create whatever I want at any time. So she's a mother. I assumed she wasn't. Let's see her gallery. For as much as I enjoy working with my husband on my current job, I realized I needed to return to art as a hobby. This gallery has some of my best artworks ever. She has her professional work up here, that's interesting. Let's see these first. Huh? Nice pictures at the bottom. No title, no title. It's always on the no 2016. But every year got a post. There's posts with titles near the bottom. Update, goodbye 2000s, one more update. What happened? This is when it starts, 2007. But look, there's regular journals here. Losing the job of my dreams, dealing with hard times, new year, new troubles. I have always asked myself if there's a point in continuing to write, in continuing to condense these feelings into the letters. What follows after that question is often the same response, which is that I began these journals to release my sadness and anger into something good. Something good that would free all those feelings inside me so they wouldn't pile up. Everyone knows what they say about loss, about guilt, that no matter how sad, how angered you are with the world, you can't bring that person back. That's true, but it's incredibly hard to accept because, while your brain might understand this, your heart does not. My heart hasn't been able to accept. Every night, every single night, before heading in, I always knock on the door of our bedroom. I don't know why I still do it, maybe muscle memory. I should have stopped a long time ago, but it still happens, every night. He always used to go to bed before me. He always came back so tired, even though he got back earlier from our office. He'd shut the door so the sound of the TV wouldn't bother Jake. This is why I still keep writing. I stomach the bad feelings the builder client brings every year just to write. But the truth is, writing hasn't let those feelings flow. They've deepened. And still, I can't bring myself to stop, because to stop would almost be like forgetting his memory. I say this, but last year I didn't write. But not because I didn't want to, it's because I couldn't type while curled up in our bed. And even if I still had our system, I couldn't have forced myself to use it. I threw out everything from our bedroom long ago. I threw out the TV set because the memories the client brings are enough. I replaced everything but the bed, and every morning I wake up to leave, I look at where he used to be, for how long I don't know, but for a while. That trance is so powerful that after I snap out and walk away, I just naturally shut the door behind me as if he was still sleeping. Won't load. I'm struggling to find the correct words here. Good Lord. I think this person can't be. Look, I don't want you in on this note. And since things have, well, seemingly calmed down, I think we should check out what Bugcatch sent us earlier. I think that'll lighten the mood a bit. Let's go ahead and shoot him a reply, see what he's been up to. I should probably tell him about. He does recognize me, not bad. I thought he sent something, but it looks like he's just checking up on me. Come on, man, don't have all day. We had the same idea.
One step ahead of you. Thanks. Oh, a community site. That sounds neat. I guess we'll have to check that out too. I'll keep an eye out for bugs, I suppose. I guess I'll be the unofficial beta tester. I think I might have overwhelmed him with too many questions. Well, it's a good time to call it quits here, because the sooner I turn this off, the better. But come to think of it, I owe Bugcatch a lot. He helped me when I went to the community for answers, and even though I still don't entirely know what's happening, he really doesn't either. Well, I suppose I'll give it a look then. I'm aware I said I'd cut it off here, but it's the least I can do for him, right? He wants us to check out netviscentral.net. I'm guessing it's some sort of community hub or maybe some kind of archive. Oh, nice. I was right, it is pretty much what I was picturing from the looks of it. Damn, this is really impressive. It's unbelievable that they managed to make it compatible with the browser too. I have no clue how they pulled that off. Actually, you know what? I think I may have seen an earlier version of this before when I was doing research, though I mostly relied on Wikipedia and other articles. I congratulate Bugcatch and whoever's helping him with this because this is some great work. Up top we have navigation, archives, and FAQ. There's also a button for the subreddit. What's even the point of linking it anymore? Let's see navigation. Oh, alright. I'm not gonna look at everything here. Home is what we just looked at. Let's see introduction. NETVision Central is an unofficial, fan-created website started by passionate fans of the NETVision system. We started the site not only to document and archive the system's history, but also to educate anyone curious enough to research it. You know, I wonder how many people are working on this. The only page I might have seen from the site was probably here, in their archives. It was probably in manuals or material archive. Speaking of, let's take a look there. Oh, it's struggling? Maybe Bugcatch sent the link so I could beta test? I have no clue why it's struggling so much. Maybe this page just has trouble loading the pictures, or it's some other problem. I'll see if the other ones work just to report back to Bugcatch. Hey, the icon up top didn't load. Maybe if I refresh? Damn, this has gotta be in early development because I'm starting to notice how unstable it is. This one loads perfectly? Well, there's a picture missing there, but... So this is their footage collection, and it's really impressive. Everything's laid out so neatly here. We have the stuff they found up top, and the stuff they haven't down here. And from the looks of it, I don't see anything I wasn't aware of. The keynote they gave, the BBC interview, the ads, yep, everything's here. Is manuals any different? God, this one is even worse. Maybe it's just an issue specific to this section. If I were to take a guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the images. Maybe the pages in the hacking section will work better. Might show us what's going on.
And, well, would you look at that? It looks like my theory could be right. This one is working perfectly. Although, the icon at the top is still missing. Let's try refreshing one more time, see if that does anything. And there we go. I think it does have something to do with pictures then. If you want to modify your NETVision system in any way, you must first understand the basics of how its hardware and software operate. I can already tell this is going to be a robust guide. This is extremely comprehensive. It says here that a large part of this info is based on pre-existing web TV and? I think they missed a typo. Anyway, I'm guessing that means they didn't do most of the heavy lifting, which makes sense because this is a very unknown topic. Wait, there's pictures right here. Then why was it struggling like that before? Maybe it has to do with file size? Let's start wrapping up here. I'll take a look at these last two. So, this is their guide. Quite an important thing to include with a site like this. This guide will help you with any questions you may have about your system. If you want to view the NETVision's own help menus, they can be found in Info Center. More info can also be found on Tips. Okay, controls, setting up, menus, applications, your account, restrictions and warnings. Warnings? Let's see what they wrote for controls. Oh, you gotta be joking. There's no getting around it at this point. This site is just very broken. Which is a shame, because it's actually really well made. Let's just refresh and see if it... Oh, okay, there we go. Finally. The amount of effort poured into this is astonishing. It just needs a little more polish. The NETVision system can be controlled with both the included remote and a compatible keyboard. They link every model here. That would have been very useful to have back when I started the video. Let's keep going here. This page will most likely be unstable too, so... I think I'm gonna... Damn it. Again? Is there something here it can't handle? Oh, come on, man. How in the world is it even bugging out like this? Why is it not reloading? Maybe... Not making this any better. Where's the link?
Why isn't it? It's not letting me. I don't understand. I can't leave. How the hell do I... What does he want? What's gonna happen if I don't see it? I can't figure this out. I don't know. It's the only thing that makes sense. There's 3. For years, the world's largest technology corporation has consumed, assimilated, and merged with countless organizations. Not to aid in the work of them, as that is not of its concern. Not to enrich them, as that is not why it assimilates. Not to grow, as it cannot grow larger, but because it has become an insect. Innumerable artisans and dreamers have been lost to this process. It has come at a cost so great that one struggles to even visualize it. Every animal is content merely taking what they need to survive, never exceeding the natural limit. The animal does this because it understands that for the mechanism of life to move, it must only take what is necessary. The corporation cares not for this. However, gorging on those smaller than it, working them until skin turns to bone, is not its only sin. The true amount is, in reality, endless. In 1994, Mosaic Communications was founded by Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark. Mark was a 22-year-old software engineer who had previously co-authored the first widely used web browser. Jim was a seasoned entrepreneur with his own company. They were geniuses. Mosaic Communications would later create the Netscape Internet browser in 1994, which quickly rose to become the world's internet browser. The next year, Netscape went public and saw tremendous success. In 1995, the corporation would create their own Netscape. They would christen it as Internet Explorer. Just a year after its birth, Internet Explorer would be forcefully installed into every machine that ran their software. All manufacturers that wanted their software had to include the program, without exception. The corporation was not yet done. Exclusive contracts were signed shortly after, which made Internet Explorer artificially perform at a significantly higher rate than other programs. Naturally, Netscape lost their entire market share, all in the span of a couple of years. They would sell all their assets for a fraction of the cost. They became obsolete. Through its existence, the corporation has created, scrapped, and classified more projects than those it has sold to consumers. The large majority of them never surface, as if they never existed in the first place. It is their top priority to maintain this collection of information hidden, as much of it is critical to the operation of crucial company assets and core customers. But, for evolution to take place, the apex predator cannot simply keep its strategies to itself. Others must use them to adapt, iterate, and survive. no. No, 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 no.
Do you want a full reference number? 646. Yeah, no, first.
You'll never